Wow. I'm hyped that my camera's fixed. That was really pissing me off because I saw
Was
the same video you were
consistent issue?
referencing, Tim. It was just like, no, it's just on the video last night. I sat there messing with it. I'm like, do I look like a ghost right now? But I just wanted to get the recording done. So,
I mean, as someone who is very pale and pasty, yeah, like
yeah,
if I have too much light on me, I always look like a ghost.
yeah, like if I stick my camera at me too much, I'm just.
I think I need to get some filters for this or something. The light that I've got here, because like when I have it on, it just blasts me, and then I just like
Yeah.
look. And I don't want my features to look dark, but at the same time, I'm just so goddamn pasty. Like it's just an issue for me.
Yeah.
See, I'm lucky. This lamp I have, and I just happen to have it around the house. I set it up, and it works. Looks good.
Brag.
I don't.
I've got a nice lamp.
We were
too,
talking about this the other day, Jack and I, because we were recording, and Jack's complaining about his camera. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like mine's fine. It's not exactly pointing at.
Hey, your camera looks good. My main issue is Tim can probably understand. Like if I look straight at the screen, it's just like green in my glasses because of the reflection. So I have to like look down.
Yeah,
bit, so it doesn't look.
I
weird.
Definitely. It's different now because my setup has changed because I have a new desk and everything. I made
Sam's got the glasses
changes.
Oh man! All right.
God bless you, Enrico. Damn.
Jeez. Big game. Respect for staying up. I mean, I was doing the same.
It is a good game to stay up for. Well, it's gonna be at least on paper.
Jack,
for your sake, I hope they don't go out there and lay an egg.
I hope not.
Darius Garland's back, so I know Sam is excited.
Yeah, classic.
One more beast to contend with.
Classic.
But
I saw the notification today, and I was like, oh, of course.
On the positive side of things, that means Karis LeVert's probably not starting for the Cavs, so that's good.
That actually should worry you more.
Karis
off the
LeVert,
bench,
who scored
just
1
drops
point
like 15
the
points
next
in his
game.
first like 7 minutes. Something gross.
Guy had 1 point the game after that massacre.
Crazy.
Well, they're not in TD, so maybe that'll make it better.
Maybe.
Incredible how that happens. But yeah, welcome in everybody as you know we start up here. Celtics Cavs tonight. I kind of am losing track of time because it's been 2 days and we recorded some podcasts in between. But they lost the Cavs and they beat the Wizards, so the Celtics got back on track. Defense was better against the Wizards. They allowed fewer than 100 points for the first time all season, which was good. The offense looked solid. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown get off to a strong start, and they kind of slowed down a little bit, but Malcolm Brogdon picked it up, so it was fine. Held Bradley Beal to, I think, something like 2 of 13 shooting. Not good. Kristaps Porzingis did most of the damage for Washington, and then tonight they get a chance to get revenge against Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs, who beat them last time in overtime. And yeah, Jack can hit the nail on the head.
Like pizza.
No.
People enjoy pizza. Like the people who end up having cold pizza generally enjoy it. But like no one enjoys being on the receiving end of revenge. I mean, this is a game I think that they should win. I am interested to see how Garland's going to come out because that changes things definitely. But again, this was the first game they should have won. That was very disappointing in the way that they let it slip away. Their defense has been an issue. I'm wondering if we do see more Luke Cornett because he got a lot of run, but at that point in time, I don't know. I think the damage was done, but I don't know. Maybe like they won't use it because I feel like if they ran out double bigs, that's when they got into trouble. So maybe we see like just like one true center lineups out there.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the Luke lineups. I thought he played well against Washington as well. I think he has a chance to play a big role again against the Cavs because of those bigger lineups. And yeah, no, I've been a fan of what he's brought to the table so far. Hello, Matt. Hello, Evan. Thank you for tuning in. I think he's surpassed Noah Vonleh in the rotation a little bit, especially in certain matchups. But even overall, I think Luke's probably shown a bit more at this point.
We talked about this the other day, and I'm big on the matchups with these two guys. It just depends on who you're playing. I think today, Cornette's probably a better fit just because he's longer. Even though Vonleh's listed at 6'11", it doesn't seem like he's that big. Cornett definitely. Well, he's 7'2", right? Cornett.
He's 7'2". Yeah,
so he's much bigger. 3 inches, big difference for height, I guess. But he's been playing well, Jack. You're right. He's been making good passes. Hasn't been super aggressive underneath the basket, but he doesn't seem to be hurting you. The problem with Vonleh is he's just been getting into a ton of foul trouble. And Evan says the Celtics need more rebounding. If that's the case, I think Vonleh's your man. But I don't know. I feel like Kornet's been playing well. You just want to keep him out there, keep him in some kind of rhythm, and see if he can get hot. I mean, he made a 3 last game. Again, been making really good reads out of the paint, hitting shooters open. He had 3 assists against Washington on Sunday. He's been fine. I don't love the jumping at the 3-pointers if he's going to give up positioning inside. That's why. I don't care if it looks stupid or whatever. That's not why I don't like it. I don't like it because if you go back and watch like his debut of it when he did it against the Cavs on Friday, he did it twice on the same possession, and Jared Allen got inside position twice, and one of the times was an offensive rebound.
Yeah. I think that's a fair point when you're talking about Kornet. I like Vonleh as an energy guy, but his defensive positioning is just not what you need it to be, and that's where he kind of tries to overcompensate and gets into foul trouble early. I just wish that they had another defensive big that they could turn to that wasn't an entire issue on one side of the ball or the other. Like Kornet, I don't know what you're really going to get out of him offensively other than him just being a really big screener. And I mean,
he's a good passer.
A lot of screen assists, apparently, in that last game. So, I mean, if you're looking for just a big guy to just throw out there who gives you height, who gives you a little bit more size, then it makes sense to have Kornet out there. But again and again, I feel like we're just trying to hold off until Rob comes back. Bless you.
Sorry, I was sneezing.
Rob.
I'm looking that up for you, Birkin, right now. September 23rd was the date.
Jeez, so what is that? Like much longer, 5 weeks about.
And mind you, not it's 8 to 12 weeks, and it's been 40 days since September 23rd, and that was when they announced that it would be 8 to 12 weeks following the surgery.
So that's almost 6 weeks.
Yeah, so 40 days. Yeah, it's almost a 35. Wait, sorry,
it's almost 6. 6 is 42.
Yeah. Sorry. I got mixed up. I was reading numbers and yeah. So yeah, probably around. I mean, the timetable's still the same. You're probably gonna see him end of December, beginning of January. At least that's when I would assume.
Christmas
at the earliest, you'll see him. Yeah, because they'll probably want to play it safe, and I don't really blame them. And I'd rather do that as well, especially if they're gonna keep up a 4-2 pace. 66% win percentage without him, then I'm fine with that. Hello, Sweaty, welcome in.
And also,
Hondo is now Sweaty.
They should be better than 4-2.
Yeah.
They've been in position to win all 6 games, and they only took 4. So
they're playing better than 4-2 is correct. Jack and saying Kornet can shoot the 3. He shot one the other day, which was nice. Need him to get more comfortable. I think that'll happen. I think the biggest gripe I have with Kornet so far is he needs to shoot more when he's in the paint. Not that he's this like big, strong interior finisher, but he's getting down there with guys on him, and he's just not even looking at the rim. He's immediately looking to kick out, which I can respect because he's obviously not a top scoring option. But if you're down low with the size advantage, put the ball up. Like you got easy layups, and he's making some great passes. He kicked one out to Jalen for a 3. He kicked another one out to, I think, maybe Hauser, but somebody on the wing for a 3. He's shown the ability to pass out of the post, which was a good form of offense for the Celtics when he was in the game, but I want him to be a little bit more aggressive inside. And then, Tim, when you're talking about the offensive game, I think that's the way I can at least see him improving there, just being more willing to score because he is a good screener. He's a good passer, and he can shoot, like Jacken said. But just, be willing to do a little bit more. And I think the Celtics, I don't know if they have, they probably have told him he can be a little bit more aggressive, but give him the leeway to shoot the ball a little bit. And I'm not saying be Jason Tatum, but, shoot it, Kornet. Birkin asking, what does everyone think of Bruce Wayne's interview? I mean, you guys know I loved it. I fully enjoyed Grant Williams' Batman impression. It was entertaining.
I was gonna say, at least like he stuck with it, Like I kudos to the dedication to the role. The one thing I will say, completely unrelated to this stuff, are we gonna talk about the Ime stuff? I feel like we have to. I feel like that's like it's a lot to unpack there, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts, but I really can't fault the Celtics for just letting this kind of go and letting Ime walk. It's not official yet. Like we haven't seen any kind of announcement. The only thing I will say is if the Nets apparently reached out to Ime before they fired Nash.
Doesn't surprise me. Before we get into that quick go, sorry, I'm just dropping the starting lineup, and Levert is starting is the point I'm making, so I was wrong.
Interesting.
But yeah, sorry, continue, Tim.
No, I was gonna say, as I lose my train of thought, if the Nets reached out to Ime before the Celtics actually granted any kind of permission, that's tampering.
Definitely.
Whatever will they do when they lose a second round?
They'll lose a second round pick like the Sixers.
Hey, lose 2 second round picks for a guy who's currently under investigation for sexual harassment and sexual misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
What are they thinking, man?
I said this. Sam and I did like an emergency episode podcast released today. If you're interested in in-depth thoughts longer than the 15-20 minutes we have in pregame, but my main takeaway was the fact that the Celtics, because I saw a lot of people mad, and I know Sam brought it up too, and it's a valid it's a valid thought saying, why didn't they get anything returned? You're just letting him go to a conference rival. And I understand that line of thinking, but my point is, if the Celtics were willing to let Ime Udoka walk to a conference rival for nothing, that should tell you all you need to know about what happened in Boston. That should tell you it was ugly enough where they didn't want to deal with it anymore. And people saying, why didn't they just fire him? I saw a great point saying that not firing him means it won't go to court immediately. They can suspend him, dock his pay, and then build a case, because if they just fire him outright, then they'd probably get taken to court for the immediate firing. Excuse me. Sorry. I saw a great thread on it, and I'll read it here because it falls in line with it. I know Adam Taylor retweeted it, but it ran through everything really well, because Marcus Smart came out with some comments today saying, "Oh, this is crap." And
no, he didn't. He didn't say that.
He didn't say that. He just said the situation sucks.
Don't say that.
Okay, well, I'm going to push back against some of what Marcus said, because I disagree with what
you
he said.
You can push back against it, but don't say he
quote him. Don't say that he said it was crap. I mean, he said it sucks because he's basically like, Ime has been slandered. And that's where I would push back against, where it's like, no, they did an investigation and they got those findings. So like, it sucks. I mean, I get it, because this is someone who's their friend. It's a guy who's a mentor. He led them to their first finals appearance. He came in and really galvanized that locker room. So I can understand that, hearing these kind of things about him and having him stripped of his title for a whole year, and then to see him shipped off to a team that you clearly despise, that's got to suck, and that's got to sting to an extent. So I get being upset and hurt and confused, because at the end of the day, these players are just in the dark as we are.
Yeah, sure. I like you said, I disagree with the term slandered, because Ime Udoka didn't get slandered. He got reported on about what he did, and facts are not slander. That, like, by definition, this is Evans Clinchy, a random Twitter account, tweeted out the thread, but I thought it was really good, so I'm stealing from it. Slander, by definition, is using false statements against somebody. There were reports, an entire legal investigation into what Ime Udoka did. He did not get slandered. Just because you don't like what was found does not equal slander. And again, I love Marcus Smart, and I can respect the fact that this is a person he grew with and learned from and worked with for an entire year, so there's probably a bond there. So this fallout is tough to deal with. A quote he pulled, "It's just something unfortunate that happened to him." That's also crap. That part you can't say. Unfortunate that happened to Udoka. He's a grown man who made a choice, and now he's stuck to lie in the bed that he made.
He said that when? Today, recently, or when it first happened?
This is from
he had an exclusive interview with Adam.
I'm in the Globe article now. I don't see that.
That was
I'm reading a thread of
comments. Yeah.
I'm reading a thread of comments that Marcus Smart made.
Okay, I think the unfortunate one was when it first dropped. Just for context.
Sure, even so, it's.
Oh wait, yeah. I think
because he didn't. He really when he said that, they really didn't know what happened. I'm telling you right now, because I remember it coming out. This was before we knew anything about. This was before they even had the press conference, I think. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I believe that's before the team even held their press conference.
I think it was like either day 1 or day 2 of media.
All right.
They waited a little bit to make a statement.
I just think defending Ime Udoka in this situation is stupid and bad.
Let me look at the thread, because I need to look at it.
I was reading off a thread that I saw based on the beginning of it. I think defending Ime Udoka in any aspect, I can understand caring for him. I can understand saying, damn, this situation sucks. But the people, especially the people saying the Celtics need to take a long look in the mirror, that's crap. I'm gonna keep saying it, and I'm gonna back it. The Celtics did everything by the books. They did everything correct. They're a professional organization, and they made the choice that Ime Udoka did something so heinous and so bad that they needed to spend him for an entire season. And in reality, they probably didn't really see a future with him anymore because of what he did. And now the Nets are basically, excuse my language, I said this on the podcast last night. The Nets are basically saying, hey, you're a woman that works for us. Fuck you. We're going to hire this guy who's accused of sexually harassing women. Like the Nets are an embarrassing organization. And I've said this. I went on this rant on the podcast last night with Sam. I'm going to do it again. They have allowed their players and now are hiring a coach who have done so much awful shit, and they're pushing back by, saying on Twitter, Joe Tsai tweeting, I don't like Kyrie, this is wrong. You're the owner. Do something like that. It's the most useless slap on the wrist crap.
Whole different.
I mean,
and we can touch upon that. We can touch upon that a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's awful. You're allowing this thing to happen. And then the NBPA tweeting out, we don't condone this without even naming Kyrie. That's embarrassing as well. Like, you can't not do something about this situation, and then you're like stockpiling on your bad look as an organization by hiring Ime Udoka. It's just, the Nets are embarrassing.
I don't know. It's tough. I understand both sides. I don't think I'm looking at the thread that you were talking about, Jack. It's not unfair. Like the stuff in here is fine. The first point, you can't say that his name was slandered. That's true. You can't. Well, even though they haven't said what's happening, so I guess we really don't know. But from everything we hear,
they said what
they
found. They reported the findings. They didn't report the specifics of the finding, but we know communicated with somebody.
Unfortunate that it happened to him, and then the guy says it's BS. That's taken out of context. That was before all the details were out, so that's not fair.
Yeah. Well, even
this thread is not in response to the Globe article today. Well, the slandered part was part of the Globe article, but he's also right in the sense that slandered is not the correct word, but he was getting dragged. Exactly, he was getting dragged through the mud, and all of a sudden he did a job again. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying what he's saying is true. He's just not saying it correctly.
Yeah, the phrasing is wrong. The intent is correct.
His name got slandered and slaughtered, and it was. He'll probably never coach again. And a couple of months later, he's now possibly going to be the coach of one of our biggest rivals. That's what was said. He was not
slandered. I can understand
that is true. But every other part of that is true. He got dragged through the mud, rightfully so, wrongfully so, however you see it. I mean, I don't know, how many people are on the wrongfully so side, but now he's all of a sudden getting another job. If you don't know what's happening and you're involved in the situation like the players are, where you know them, for us, it's different. We don't know him. You don't know him. None of us know him. But Tim, you make the point of, that's a person in your life. If you pin it, say I was Mr. Bad Guy, right? It would be more difficult for people around me, you guys maybe, to accept what had happened without saying here it is, look, it's right in front of your face, wham, here's all the evidence.
You're muted.
I'm muted now. Excellent.
You did for a second.
No, you're good now. Mid-flow
on this thing, man. I swear to God. All right. It makes no sense, but we can't control that. We have to control what we can. Excellent job, Marcus. I've only been begging for that. I love the coaching staff. I love Joe. Smart is frustrated that the organization shared just sparse details about Udoka's situation with the players. When they were told that Udoka would be suspended a year, they believed that timeline. It really doesn't matter what we say to the front office, Smart said. We can voice our opinion, but I'm sure it's going to be, yeah, we hear you, and that's it. I'm sure they know how certain people feel, but it's tough because there's only so much that they can say. It's a tough spot for everybody. It jocks all around. Oop, I scrolled too far.
They're in a big legal battle behind the scenes. You just know it. That's the reason
that's part of
we're not getting
Jack
any information
the other day.
Yeah, there is definitely legal matters that are being handled in the background that are not going to come to light until things actually get to a court where papers are served. Because the Celtics are probably getting some kind of sexual harassment lawsuit. And now by letting Ime walk scotch-free to go ahead and be the coach of the burning Brooklyn Nets, more power to him, I guess. But it also means that the Celtics don't have to worry about that issue.
And I understand being frustrated that this coach you knew for a while and helped you achieve all these great things is leaving to coach a rival. And I understand that being left in the dark as someone so close to the situation is tough. But I don't know. To me, it's just disappointing to hear that your takeaway from this, especially in like an exclusive interview that's going to be shed to the public after all this came out and after all this information came out, your take is his name was slandered and it sucks that he's leaving. That's just shitty to me. That's
because
just,
I don't know.
I don't care. You do know that he harassed a woman in the organization. He knows that he harassed somebody. He knows that he sent inappropriate messages.
But they don't have the context. They don't have anything.
They haven't confirmed it.
If you need context of more than he harassed somebody in an inappropriate manner, I did just.
But did they release the report yet? I'm not saying this is how I feel. I'm saying close to somebody in the situation, it's very difficult to grasp or accept what's going on.
Especially after that run, like there's someone that they've formed a really personal bond with. Like I said, came in and like made a good situation for them.
But then don't say anything. Don't go out there defending somebody.
They keep asking about it. Like
this is us defending Marcus, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not.
Marcus should not be getting crapped on all day on Twitter. And I don't think the thread that you shared is necessarily crapping on him, by the way. I don't think
it's not a good look.
It's fair.
I
don't understand why people are so upset about it.
Posing himself. I do understand it though, and I understand both sides. I'm not fully of the, fuck this guy for it, but he's posing himself as a defender of Ime right now. That's how he's coming across. That it's just how it is. And I can understand there's levels to it. And I completely understand both of your arguments he's formed this relationship and it's tough to separate. Cause like if something came out against one of my friends, obviously I would have a hard time grasping that. And I wouldn't just completely abandon them because I've had this relationship with them. And I understand that. But with everything that has come out, with all of the horrible stuff that has come out, from an outside perspective, he is defending Ime Udoka.
Come out from where?
That's how it is coming across. Woj put out a report that he's sending inappropriate text messages to a female subordinate within the organization.
Shams tweeted out source on that. These things are so difficult. It's not saying that Woj is not a reliable source. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're the player, you know that these reports from Woj, Shams are not always true, not necessarily regarding legal things like this, but trades. There are things that we hear that don't happen or they're not true. We've talked to people that have told us this. That doesn't mean what he put out about this situation is true or false. It means as a player, you may have reason to doubt. If you're a player or anybody in somebody you're close with, someone that's your friend is involved in something, you're probably going to have their back to an extent. Until you have seen the investigation, which is legal, they can't share the details. That's fine. I'm not saying they should be telling everybody everything that's happening, but I'm saying if you're involved and you're close to it, it's you're not gonna just abandon it. I think it's good that he said something because those guys are involved with the team. They're expected to go out there and play well, and they're dealing with all this, and they don't know what's going on. They don't know what the confirmation is. That's the tough part.
I understand. I'm just telling you right now, from the way this is all being posed, from all of the information that we know, from all of the reports, Marcus Smart is going out of his way to back Ime Udoka. And whether you want to say it's right or wrong, and I completely understand the levels and the relationship, and he has known this guy for so long, and they did all this great stuff together. From a public perspective, he is backing Ime Udoka, who is accused of sexual harassment. That is just how it is going to be portrayed. And that is how it has been portrayed, and that is how he came across in the interview. There was no, because there was no like.
To be fair, we don't know what else was said.
But
and it's also different from
just like we don't know what else has happened, right? Like
exactly,
that's what is given to us.
Yeah, look at it now. We're how many months removed, and we still don't have any information. And this is the problem that everyone has. When the news first broke, it was like, okay, why is he getting suspended? Why is it for that long? And then like the situation slowly evolved, and now it's to the point where everyone's like, I want to know every single detail. I want to know dates. I want to know time frames. And it's like, you guys just can't. We can't. we can't sit here and ask people to divulge this kind of information. Like, it's just not going to happen. When it comes to light, it'll come. Yeah, it's in the Boston Globe. Adam Himmelsbach was the one who wrote the piece. So in terms of that situation, we're just going to have to see how it plays out. Is it kind of sad, annoying, discouraging, disheartening to see Smart say that? Yeah, definitely to a degree. Like, it bothers me, but I have to try and see from his perspective of like, this is a guy that
I understand.
I
understand his perspective.
It's just, I mean, it's tough. Like, you don't want to just go like, what is he supposed to? There's no way that he comes out of that interview when it's about Udoka looking good. Like, there's no way that you can go into that interview and be like, yeah, like this was a well-formulated thought. Like, he's talking on emotion and like the little knowledge that we've all been given as a public.
And I understand that. And like, I said it over and over again. I understand the perspective of wanting to back somebody you formed a relationship with, your friend, your coworker, more than friends at that point. You spent a year with the guy working towards a specific goal, but it's just a bad look. And that is what it is right now. I think it was a bad look the way he framed it, because he could have gone in there, and obviously it's tough to go in there and say, we don't know all the details and I can't really form an opinion until I did, because obviously he has a biased opinion. Like, just like people who maybe against Ime for a specific reason, Marcus was for him because he has this relationship. So that's a biased opinion in the exact sense of the word bias, because he has that previous relationship with him.
The reports are that he's supposed to be hired within 2 days of yesterday. So the news should come out soon, Birkin.
Yeah.
Probably by Friday.
As far as the Marcus thing goes, I really think the only thing that people should really pick apart is the slandered part, because that's not true. The definition is not true. Oh man, I lost my train of thought. I had a good one, but really, he's just like, hey, we don't know what happened yet. So why?
Well, him saying, "I wish he was here," I
probably
don't like
does.
Sure, and because of the bias he has in the relationship, sure. But he
you want
can't
to say
F
that guy? Maybe you do.
Yes.
Well, I mean, like people have.
No one's gonna say that. No one's gonna say that within the organization.
I think the woman he harassed might say that.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's not a stretch of the imagination. But I mean, like, people are talking about maybe JB being like someone who has issues with them.
No,
him casually posting that.
But
I know. But what I'm saying is like what he's saying publicly may be different than how he feels behind closed doors. I mean, like, you saw him, he kind of quote tweeted, like, had the screenshot of Ime and KD, which kind of gives shades of like, yeah, Ime was here. Ime called me out publicly. Also, like, KD wanted to come to Boston and they were ready to ship me out. Brad Stevens didn't want to do it. So
I initially interpreted that as, I'm pissed he's gone. That's how I interpreted the tweet.
I don't know, because he the day that everything happened, he liked that weird cryptic tweet of like everything falling into place, like just when the world think like, you know, weird. That's what I'm saying. So like you can try and read tea leaves here with it, but I mean,
if you want some Jaylen Brown, this is part of the Himmelsbach article. For Jaylen Brown said it would have been quote unquote awesome if Udoka had been able to return to the Celtics next season, and that it quote unquote sucks that he will not be back. But most of all, he's pleased that Udoka will get another chance. I'm just happy to see a black head coach end up back on his feet, Brown said, because I've seen situations where something like this might not have been the case.
Okay. I mean, I kind of get what he's saying still. Doesn't mean I support it, but like,
I'm surprised that doesn't get more controversy.
Well, because I think Smart talked more. Like, you have that bit, and it's like
he's in the
Smart
headline
more directly.
Marcus is in the headline.
What do you want JV to say? Like, what do you want JV to be like? Yeah, man, like screw that guy. Like, go play in traffic.
Well,
like, fuck you. Like, I don't know what you want him to say. Like,
we talked about this on the podcast. Tim, I assume you saw the Matt Barnes thing that came out right around when the Udoka news broke. Matt Barnes talking about it. Sam was like, well, if Matt Barnes knows that, there's no way that the Nets don't know certain things that Matt Barnes knows.
It's true.
And my argument is, and you agree that from Matt Barnes's reaction that it was probably pretty fucking bad. What do you mean?
From what Barnes says, it looks real bad. And if the Nets know that and they're hiring him, then they're really down bad.
Well, my thing is, if Matt Barnes knows that, I have a really hard time believing that none of the Celtics players know. I have a really hard time believing
know
that
he could have misinformation.
Or it could just be one person who knows information and told Matt Barnes to be like, hey, you said some stupid stuff on TV the day before. You need to walk this back because it's going to ruin your career once this all comes to light.
But Sam, and this is devil's advocate here. I'm not like actually caring either way. But if you're going to sit there and say, Matt Barnes knows, so the Nets probably knows, so they're just fucked up. You can't say Matt Barnes knows, but no, the Celtics definitely don't know, right? You know, like you don't understand how that's a little like you're saying screw the Nets, but backing Marcus because you're a fan of the Celtics. Like that. That's like
no.
You understand
the difference is
the source.
Well,
I don't think
you're
the players
arguing
within
that
the
Matt
Celtics
Barnes knows,
would know.
so the Nets probably know.
No. I don't think the players within the Celtics would know because I think they've really, I don't know. I guess they would text with people. Fair enough.
Well,
but
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
My
Like, if
point
you're
really is, I think the higher ups within all the organizations probably have some idea.
Okay, sure. Okay, that makes sense.
I think there's levels to it.
I'm just saying, if a former player knows and found out, it's hard for me to believe that some of the players haven't figured it out. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they legally have to not know.
Yeah, that too. Because I mean, if they go ahead and they say anything or leak any bit of knowledge, then it's that
Matt
puts
Barnes
the team in a bad
involved
spot.
directly in this. The Nets are not. Well, now they are. But
again, that also is true.
We're not
now the Nets are
directly.
I'll say this: I'm very glad Celtics have washed their hands and he is gone. I'll put it that way. I'm fine with Joe Mazzulla. I'm happy that this whole entire situation is gone and he is no longer with the Celtics organization.
But it's not gone because we just did 20 minutes on Marcus Smart.
I mean, I know it's closer to being gone. It's closer to being gone.
No, I know, but it's like it was fine for the last month and a half. Now it's not fine anymore.
You just
or fine in terms of the amount that it's being talked about, the amount of a distraction it may be. But we get a wrap soon, anyways. We're over time here.
Well, apparently it's an ESPN game, isn't it? So they might tip off a little bit late.
I don't know. They've been shoddy. I don't trust it.
Yeah. I will say this in terms of what's happening with Kyrie too. I think it's
they just put out a statement. If you want me to read it,
a statement.
Wait, who did the Nets?
Well, it's a statement. They're donating money to causes that support.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
let's hear it before I say my thing.
The Nets, Kyrie Irving and the Anti-Defamation League have put out a joint statement saying, in part, that Kyrie Irving and the Nets will each donate $500,000 towards causes and organizations that work to eradicate hate and intolerance in our communities. Here's the full statement. The events of the past week have sparked many emotions within the Nets organization, our Brooklyn community, and the nation. The public discourse that followed has brought greater awareness to the challenges we face as a society when it comes to combating hate and hate speech. We are ready to take on this challenge, and we recognize that this unique moment will make a lasting impact. To promote education within our community, Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets will each donate $500,000 towards causes and organizations that will work to eradicate hate and intolerance in our communities. The Nets and Kyrie will work with the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, a nonprofit organization devoted fighting anti-Semitism and all types of hate that undermine justice and fair treatment for every individual. This is an effort to develop educational programming that is inclusive and will comprehensively combat all forms of anti-Semitism and bigotry. I oppose all forms of hatred and oppression and stand strong with communities that are marginalized and impacted every day, said Kyrie Irving. I am aware of the negative impact of my post towards the Jewish community. No, he wasn't, not in the press conference. And I take responsibility. I do not believe everything said in the documentary was true or reflects my morals and principles. I am a human being learning from all walks of life, and I intend to do so with an open mind and a willingness to listen. So for my family and I, we meant no harm to any one group, race, religion of people, and I wish only to be a beacon of truth and light.
Well, notice how there's no apology.
Yeah, the Tim Bontemps said that too.
Yeah.
Man, how many times are we going to do this? And I got to say this now before we wrap. Look, I know it's a different player in a different situation. Myers Leonard was like a bench player at best, but like that dude's life got completely turned upside down by saying a slur and
by doing less.
Disapprove of it. And he got exactly what he deserved. What are we doing with Kyrie Irving? Because here's the thing. You go ahead and you punish him or you suspend him. You do whatever you want to do to punish him and hold him accountable. He's going to go ahead and paint himself as a martyr. But is that better than what it is right now, where you're going ahead and saying, hey, we don't condone anti-Semitism, and then he goes on the stand and says, I'm not promoting it? Then why are you sharing it on your freaking Twitter, dude? Like, if I share a link to a movie or something, like, how am I not promoting that? That is me giving it a platform, and I don't
hey, look,
0.1% of the followers he has. So, like, what are we doing? It's ridiculous.
Who deserves a second chance more, Myers Leonard or Ime?
Probably Myers.
It's a serious question.
He did like a ton of stuff after to try and like educate himself and not be a garbage human being. I've yet to see. This is all Joe Tsai doing this right now. You could tell he was like holding him at gunpoint. Like, do you actually want to play basketball here anymore? Like, we will send you to Utah. Danny Ainge can deal with you.
They should. No, I don't.
Whatever
think wants to
picks we've got for the next 30 years. He gave him a heart attack
the first time.
My thing, Kyrie during the back and forth with Nick Friedel, who shout out to him. That was appreciate him. He basically like two questions prior goes, I am blessed to have the platform where I can influence millions.
Yeah, he's a moron.
Nick Friedel presses him and he goes, people don't have to listen to me. I can post whatever the hell I want. Like, that's just freedom of speech. Like, you're an idiot.
It is
like,
freedom of speech, but they can still get mad at you.
Exactly. You can post whatever you can post whatever you want, but there are repercussions to your actions, my man. Like, that's how the world works.
The only thing freedom of speech means is like they can't like put you in jail.
Birkin doesn't mean there's no consequences.
Myers Leonard said a Jewish slur that we're not going to repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, I am not saying that.
And Kyrie Irving promoted a very extremely anti-Semitic movie on his Instagram story,
including the movie had quotes from Adolf Hitler. So like, let's not pretend that like it was not clear and present what that movie was about.
And then when asked about it, he goes, well, some of the themes in the movie are really true. And I'm just like,
which ones? Why don't you go ahead and specify for me?
Well, I don't promote hate, but some of the other things were true. Like, dude, and I hate to say it too, and we're not going to get into this. Jalen is bordered on that edge sometimes too, and it frustrates me when he does. He's been better, but too many times does he border on that line of.
I won't say I don't think he's gone ahead and said anything like that, but
it's nowhere near. But he's bordered on the line of Kyrieism. I'll put it that way. I'll dub it Kyrieism.
I think it's more so just not. Yeah. I'm not going to touch that with the 10-foot.
We don't have to.
That's a whole other chestnut.
Anyways, we have 5 minutes till tip off, so we can wrap up here. We've done more than
let me do the pick then real quick. I'll put it in the chat.
Hit smash odds.
Barely talked game. We talked game for like the first 15 minutes.
Well,
and then the rest.
It's tough when there's so much other
big
crap
news
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the part that kills me is Tim Bontemps is so right. He's just the statement does not include an apology because he's not sorry. He's not sorry for what he did. I
state my regret.
He didn't even say that. He goes, I take responsibility. It's just saying, yeah, I'm going to back what I did, but I'll take the responsibility of dealing with the actions. Like, just bozo. All right, Sam, hit us up.
Pick of the night presented by Smash the Odds at Smash Odds on Twitter. You can go there for all their free picks. You can pay for the premium service and get picks daily. Full slate, and if you want to just buy daily picks on the weekends for college football and the NFL, you can do that too. They've got Cavs money line tonight, and my pick will be Derek White over 1.5 threes. They also have a different free pick on their Twitter. If you go there and follow them, you'll get that one too. I like the Derek White. It's plus money. He's been shooting well. I trust him. I did not pick Grant because the line is 1/2 of a three, and the odds are no good.
Yeah, he'll hit probably 2 threes.
It's like minus 244 for him to make a three. So it's not really worth it.
No. Unfortunate. Not great lines there. I'll look quick. Let's see. What are these points over under? Excuse me. Karis LeVert's at 14.5. Maybe take that. Take the over on that. Karis LeVert. Jaylen Brown's 23.5. I don't hate that either. Grant Williams is at 6.5. That'll be mine easy. It's over 6.5 points for Grant Williams. I think he'll hit that. I don't think that'll be a bad one at all. So
I think that'll be get like 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Minimum.
I think he'll average around
10 minimum.
Season, so.
It's not bad.
Birkin's calling 2 Cornet 3-pointers. So there's your daily Birkin.
That is bold, my friend.
It's a hot one.
It's a very hot one. Sizzling.
But anyways, anything else you guys want to talk about quickly? Touch on before we get out of
I'm
here?
hungry.
No.
I have food here, and I'd like to get in front of the TV. Wrap
What'd
it
you
up.
get? What'd you
We
get?
have a wrap with a chicken wrap, honey mustard, fries. Let's wrap it
Nice.
up here.
Love to see it. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thank you, Enrico, Burke, and Landon, everybody who came in, Sweaty, all the regulars.
Good show
We
today.
appreciate you. Yeah, it was a long
Cheers,
one.
thank
We got to argue. That never happens.
A lot of fun stuff to talk about. We appreciate you guys. Make sure if you're watching on Guy Boston Sports, check out the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel. We post podcasts there every day. I have a new one up about Ime Udoka today. We had one up the other day or yesterday, I think, about the Wizards game and the Cavs game. Check both of those out. Subscribe there. Growing in subscribers. We appreciate it. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at How About Them C's. Check us all out on Twitter. Those are below our faces. This has been the Bannertown Build Up. We are here 30 minutes before every Celtics game, and we will see you guys before the next one. Peace.